We got Logan Sneed coming on here in just a minute, so make sure you stay tuned. This dude has recovered and transcended seemingly the most impossible challenges that exist today. And we're going to be diving into how he did that, what he has created himself as, how he's impacting so many people today. It is a massively inspiring story. So definitely stay tuned. Now, I'm going to talk to you because you're tuning in right here, right now. You're listening to this podcast, YouTube, live stream, replay, whatever it might be. So I just want to say I acknowledge you and thank you for showing up. Thank you for choosing to be here. And whatever the sources of inspiration, of activation, encouragement, growth that you are tapped into, whether it's coaching, live events, tuning into this personal development marathon, whatever it is, I just want to say thank you and keep going. Stay plugged in because that's how you can truly overcome any obstacle, any challenge that is in your way and turn problems into opportunities. Okay, so I'm going to share the iTunes review of the week this week, which is by dblue702. And dblue says, awesome podcast. Chris is one of the most passionate and driven people I know. His show is a must listen. dblue702, thank you so much for that review. I appreciate you, man. And if you want to give us a review, go to beergps.com/iTunes or search Greatest Possible Self on the Apple Podcast Store, and you can give us a review there. I love to see what you write, what you love about the show, what you want to see done differently. I love that feedback. So thank you so much for giving that and letting us know how we can serve you even more. I'm going to introduce Logan in just a second here. Before that, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, be ready to take notes because this guy is just a powerhouse. He's going to be delivering you gold through strategies, through his story, inspirational moments that really made a difference for him. So you definitely want to stay tuned all the way through to the end of this interview because one idea has the power to change everything for you. Logan Sneed went from high school athlete and college freshman to a stage 4 glioblastoma patient overnight. That's terminal brain cancer for those of us who aren't doctors. Doctors told him he wouldn't survive his diagnosis. And even if he did, he'd never have the quality of life he wanted. Logan refused to believe that. Each time someone told Logan he couldn't do something, he used it as fuel to prove them wrong. Today, Logan is a fitness entrepreneur making a 6-figure income, in remission, and is inspiring the world with his story of beating the odds. In his new book, Thank You Cancer, out December 3rd of last year, became an Amazon #1 bestseller in multiple categories. Logan challenged us to thank the obstacles that are in our way. In the book, he asks, could you write a letter to your weight, your debt, or your business? Could you thank it for making you grow? Can you find room to become happier, to enjoy the present, and to face the fear and the doubt that has held you back? By thanking our obstacles, Logan says we can become the CEO of our lives and the absolute best version of ourselves. And we are here to rock the house with Logan today. Logan, are you ready to bring it, bro?
Man, I'm super excited. Thank you for having me here. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, absolutely, man. I appreciate you being here, and just everything that you have grown through, man, is just massive kudos to you, acknowledgement for what pain that you had to endure, the hardship, the challenges, man, and just I acknowledge you for the courage and also the fortitude and who you've become in the process, and now serving so many people, man.
Thank you.
It's really inspiring.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. It's a journey. I think everyone on here knows it's about the process.
That's right, baby. Okay, so we're going to dive right in, Logan. The theme of today is a foundation of faith. What does that mean to you, a foundation of faith?
Yeah, I mean, a foundation of faith is simply me and myself, right? It's me and my dreams, and it's knowing that I have faith within myself and where I want my life to go, and I have to keep in that foundation, right? Now, you're always going to be throwing obstacles. You're always going to be going through different mazes, but you always have to know the foundation of your faith, of the dreams that you have. And for me, again, it's conquering the odds, achieving the impossible, overcoming brain cancer, all these sort of things put together. I have to have the foundation of faith that it truly is possible. And a quote that kind of summarizes foundation of faith up for myself is, it always seems impossible until it is done. You can always think about it, but until it is done, you'll never know.
Man, I love it, dude. And, when I think about recovery, when I think about coming back from a diagnosis or prognosis or whatever it might be that someone else tells us, it's like faith in something bigger, something different, the way that we want it to be, the version of our life that we're committed to. Like that is, you're a prime living embodiment example of faith, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. Really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, bro. So I want to let people know what is the work that you're doing today. I mentioned fitness expert and inspiring and empowering people. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, bro?
Yeah, so I do. I have two businesses right now. One is
Okay.
fusionlean.com, where I guide people in developing the best version of themselves through their diet.
Okay.
So it's full, customized meal and workout programs. And then Fitpreneur Academy is where I guide people in building their own online health and fitness business.
Boom.
Exactly how I've been able to do that. Going through college, being able to drop out and do all this stuff for a living. So yeah, that's what I do for a living. It all kind of starts at logansneed.com is like the root of it all. But yeah.
Rocking. I love it. I love it, man. So we're gonna go back into the journey because there's so much gold in there. I'm sure our audience wants to know what the juicy details of what happened. So take us back, man. I think I read that in your early days you had some like a big bright future. Well, tell us about that, and then transition into the illness that you picked up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I always lived a life of just a great life. There was
Yeah.
never really problems in my life, and I was, a good old college kid, and I had big dreams of being an entrepreneur, and I had dreams of, just being a big, just awesome dude. And so it's just random, but I was actually at home for spring break, and the girlfriend that I was with, we were together for 4 years, all the way through high school. And went to the same college, and then we lived in the same area, so we came back home for spring break. And I was going to the gym one day, and I was like, "Man, I feel amazing. This is just an amazing day, amazing life." And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to FaceTime my girlfriend." And so I just thought I'd be a good boyfriend and call her. And I've never FaceTimed or even done anything like that while I was driving. I never even thought about doing that. And just that one day, I don't know why I did it, but hey. So I FaceTimed her, and as I was doing that, I was driving to the gym, and suddenly I was having a seizure while I was driving. I've never had a seizure in my life. So I started slurring my words, and she thought I was like playing a joke, just trying to be funny. And I knew what I was wanting to say, but it was like I couldn't say it. It's like the words were right on my tongue, so I was thinking about them, but I just couldn't physically say it. And it was the weirdest thing. So that led to a seizure while I was driving, and thankfully I only drove off the road. I drove half a mile unconscious. And yeah, it was crazy. And so it's kind of to go forward in the story, they had to figure out why I had a seizure, because I've never had that in my life.
Right.
So they scanned my body. They found a tumor in there. They called it a mass at first because they didn't know if it was a tumor or just a mass that just could stay there. So it was a tumor, and so that led to a full brain surgery. The first brain surgeon that I chatted with here in Austin, he told me as soon as I met him, he said, "Hey, you won't be able to speak or hear after the surgery. Just want to let you know that." So it's basically like I'm walking myself in death almost. And so that actually, we completely left that meeting and said, "You know what? We're not working with that surgeon. We're finding somebody better." We actually got hooked up with the number one brain surgeon in the world. I asked him that same question. I said, "Am I going to be able to speak or hear after this?" He said, "Dude, if I'm doing it, don't sweat it. I got you. It's not going to be a problem." So yeah, he literally, I mean, he basically saved my life. And full surgery went amazing, and 100% tumor was removed. And so that led to, what is the tumor? Is this just a mass, or is this an actual cancerous tumor? And so it came back as a stage 4 glioblastoma brain tumor. Again, for those that don't know, it is the most deathly cancer in the world. It's the least funded cancer in the world, and it's the fastest growing cancer in the world. So that's what it was. And that led to the diagnosis. And she told me in the diagnosis, she said, "Hey, Logan, I don't know how to really say this, but it looks like you only have about 1 to 10 years left to live." And I was like, obviously that made me feel like I gained probably 100 pounds on my back in a matter of seconds. Obviously my parents, with the go-getting mentality that they've always had, they're like, "Okay, well, okay, we get it, but what can we do to help fix that?" And so, my dad was like, "All right, well, is there anything he should eat or should not eat, or fix something in his diet? Like, what should we do here?" And she said, "I'm sorry, we just really can't do anything about this. We're going to try chemotherapy. We're going to try radiation. Yeah, we just can't do anything here. And so my dad, he actually said this. It's actually in my book, actually. Um, he goes, "So you're telling my son that he could have a beer and a burger, and we just can't do anything about this?" And by the way, I was actually 20, so I wasn't
Wow.
21.
Wow.
And she goes, "Yeah, yes, sir. That's what I'm saying." So, anyways, that led to, yeah. I mean, it was crazy, but I mean, it led to just a whole. I mean, to summarize it up, it led to the chemotherapy, the radiation,
Yeah.
and basically made me feel that my life was like lost. I almost felt like I was just somebody just taking up air and taking up space.
Yeah.
That there was really no point of me even being around, because who likes enjoying this horrific, time like this? Like no one does.
Yeah.
And so, going through chemotherapy and radiation, I had, a girlfriend at the time. She was like, we were together for 4 years. I thought I
Yeah.
was going to marry this girl. And the most horrific time of my life, she actually broke up with me during chemotherapy and radiation. And that was just another 200 pounds added to my back. And again, I questioned
Mm.
everything in my life. And so over time, I discovered the keto diet. I discovered what truly could potentially work for me.
Yeah.
Like it may not work for everybody, but like I just thought in my mind, I said, whatever this thing is, like I don't care if it works or if it doesn't work, but
Mm.
I I have to make it work. Like
Yeah.
it's either you live or you die. You got to go at least die trying. And
Yeah.
so I just went full throttle with it, and ever since then, my results for this has been absolutely no tumor regrowth over a 4 year window, and it's been just an amazing gift, going through this journey and realizing that it is possible. You can find something that will work, or you can create something that will work to help
Wow.
you achieve those things. So yeah, it's just kind of a summary of it all together there on achieving the impossible.
Dude, that is incredible. First of all, but I wanna know, with the diet, that you changed the diet, you changed the nutrition, that you were feeding and fueling your body. Do you think if you would have done that, and I know it's all speculation at this point, but do you think if you would have changed the diet before the before you started having seizures, for example, that first seizure that you had, if you would have changed your diet, do you think that you would have been able to reverse the cancer growth? Is that something that you've learned? Is that something that you've discovered? Because I think we all want to know, how can we prevent these kind of negative illnesses and disasters from happening?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. I mean, my diet, again, it's in my book about what my diet was, and if you knew who I was back then in my old diet, you would think I'm the last person that would be doing the diet I'm doing now. And I mean that in the sense of like I was having 4,000 calories because I wanted to get nothing but size. I wanted to
Wow.
be the swole guy. I was doing sugars upon sugars, 1,000 calorie smoothies and
Yeah.
shakes, and just get me sugared up. And so
Wow.
yeah, I mean, definitely, definitely could have. Again, the tumor, I don't know if no one really knows, but
Right.
I don't know if it was from the diet, but I do know that I was basically watering those plants
Right.
day by day with the
Right.
diet, 100%.
Damn, dude, it's so powerful. So I was curious about that. So you overcame it, and then you healed yourself. You switched your diet. How did you evolve past that point? How did you give yourself purpose? How did you step back into entrepreneurship and giving yourself like bigger targets and dreams over just? Did you have big dreams when you're going through that? Like, did you say, I want to make it through this so I can achieve the big dreams, or did you say, I want to get to tomorrow? Like, what was your focus?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've always had that entrepreneurial mentality, and
Yeah.
I've always had that dream.
Yeah.
And I was actually running a supplement company in that meantime when
Wow.
like before this stuff popped up. And so the supplements that I was selling, the business was doing actually very well, but
Mhm.
they're not actually supplements that I could actually take after all of this stuff happened. It
Right.
just wasn't
Right.
best for my health. So when this all happened, I was like, well, okay. I'm like, all right, so do I just get rid of this business and then like figure out what the heck I want to do? And so I was like, yeah, I guess ditch it.
Wow.
So I ditched the whole thing, and that kind of just reframed me on focusing my energy on this and figuring
Mm.
out what to do. And so as soon as I figured out what to do, which was the ketogenic diet,
Mhm.
suddenly I started seeing physical results of my own.
Mm.
And I saw that and I'm like, whoa. And so I had lost 50 pounds. And so I'm
Wow.
like, wow, I've gotten very, very lean. And so I'm like, you know what? I was like, this is actually kind of different
Mm.
because this isn't like the generic programs that everyone else is selling.
Mm.
this is something I didn't know if people even know about. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And so I
Yeah.
made a business online through this, just showing my results, not really anyone else's, just showing, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is what I'm eating. If you're, if you want to, like, if you want to know what I'm doing or how this works, let me know and see what happens. And so suddenly it started snowballing, and people were like, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. And results came, and just the brand came overall. So that's how I look at it, in the sense of like, hey, if I didn't have this tumor, would I have made this business? I
Mm.
don't know. Maybe I would have done a different business, or not even had my own business, So
What was it, Logan, that had you choose to not just duplicate the business model and the vehicle, so to speak, and just switch around the type of nutrients that you put into the supplements? And because you were already successful at some kind of e-commerce, why didn't you just change it to different nutrients?
yeah, I don't know. See, that it's a hard question to answer, because I
Yeah.
think there was just something in my gut, in my heart, just saying, Logan, go this route. And I
Wow.
literally had no hesitation at all in me deciding to do this.
Yeah.
Was literally not one day that I was second guessing this.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, there was no, I didn't even have a structure of like, okay, it's going to be this and this and this.
Right.
I just was like, you know what? I'm going to be this online health and fitness trainer. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm going to do it. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it just something in my gut, in my heart, and my mind, just told me to do it. I
So
just went
did
full
you
throttle.
feel like you could make a bigger impact for people? Like the the value of it for your soul, your mind, your spirit, your heart, whatever it is. It was more valuable than to try to rework what you had already done.
Yeah, because I think it was, yeah, 100%, yeah,
Mm.
on that question. And I thought that, like, I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm being generic, right? And I'm not
Mm.
saying coming out with your supplement company is generic or anything like that, but I just felt like I was like not copying other entrepreneurs, but I was like, I want to be like him, but it was
Right.
like, I was like, I want to be like him rather
I
than,
get it.
I want to be like myself,
Mm.
and I'm gonna take myself doing this.
Mm.
And so I figured, okay, maybe this is very different. Nobody's really doing it like this, and I see massive success like this. Like, it's a huge, like, supplements are not a problem,
Yeah.
but what I see in, like, supplements may be needed by people, but in reality, it starts in the roots of everyone's
Mm.
health, is their diet. And I was like, this is a bigger problem, and I
Yeah.
need to go help people plant new seeds and not
Yeah.
water bushes.
Woo.
So,
Woo. Those proverbial words, man. I love it. I love it. It
yeah,
is awesome, and I hear what you're saying. You're like, hey, this supplement industry, this business, how much of an impact is it actually making on people? If we really want to get to the deep roots to transform someone's life, so the value that you can
yeah,
bring is proportional to the level and the depth of the problem and suffering that someone might be experiencing, and someone's lifespan. If you take supplements, it might change it a little bit, or a lot, depends on the supplements.
yeah.
But to really go in and rework the mindset, to rework the lifestyle, to rework the whole paradigm of life, that's like, in our opinion, I think way more valuable than any kind of supplement or something that someone can take.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So tell us more about what the company, this fusion. What is the fusion come from? Where did that come from? And what would you say was unique about your company that made it different than others?
Well, man, I apologize. I'm not going to give you the most extravagant answer to that, but it was one of those things where I was like, you know what? I need a business name now. And suddenly, I have no idea. I have no clue how I came up with this name. It was the very first name I came up with, and I'm like,
Uh,
okay. I was like, that's pretty legit. So
Fusion
I
lean,
literally
let's
just,
go.
yeah. No, there was no
I
domain that
love
was
it,
taken. It was 100% available. So hey, I did it.
dude. That's
Yeah,
right.
it was just the lean process on, fusing everything together, on
Mm,
becoming lean, not only physically, but lean in your life. It's like
mm,
the balance of life, basically, is how I kind of see those things. It's like being lean physically is not where you're incredibly skinny. It's not where you're incredibly overweight. It's like
mm,
you have a balance of creating overall optimized health internally,
mm.
which correlates physically. So
Dude, rad. So I know that was like the big focus for you for a while, is to build that business. Is there any other big lessons or things that were in there that you want to share with our audience, like that was important as far as that chapter in the journey when you were just doing that?
yeah, I mean, again, for those that know who Nick Saban is, the Alabama head coach, he says this about 100 times a day. They say, he says, the process. He just says those two words, the process, because every single day, for me myself, right, I'm always like, okay, all right, sales, next week, how, I have to do this next week because I got to grow the brand. But yesterday, you know what? It sucked. I don't know what the heck I was doing. And I always have to say, Logan, it's the process. It's the process.
Yeah.
And so I have to stop being so greedy, but I have to be a balanced greedy, if that makes sense. And so I say that to myself every single day is the process. You have to endure it and you have to love it.
Wow, dude, I love it. I hear, I heard the word ambition. I think ambition, some people say it's good, some people say it's not. I don't know. I feel like ambition is good, to want more, to achieve more, to impact more. And then also like contentment and appreciation, right? Like the being grateful for what is, but also expectation that, hey, like I can get more, I can create more, I can impact more people's lives, I can serve more people. So it's like that balance between those, between appreciating what is and what we already have, like doing that, and it's not this or that, it's this and that, doing that and continually reaching for more, challenging ourselves, saying, what else can I become? How more could I grow? And especially, coaches like yourself to challenge us and say, you can do better. What is your better? What is that next level for you? Let's work on it together. Let's team up together and figure out how much can you challenge yourself? How much can you push yourself and evolve from who you used to be to who you can become?
Yeah, and that's the funnest part of the process is like, the end points of like, oh, I achieved this. In reality, there's amazing goals that I've achieved in my life, but honestly, I love achieving them, but I get the most exhilarated whenever I'm loving the process rather than getting to that destination. So yeah, 100%. I love that.
So how can people who are listening right now fall in love with that process? Because it almost might even be cliche and heard over and over again, enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. Like, what can we practically do to start shifting that if we don't like really embody that or feel like that's resonating at our heart level yet?
Yeah, I think a lot of us can feel lost, right? Like we may have a success, like your business may be doing great, but at times you can feel lost of like, okay, like it's doing well, but I just don't really know what to do. And so that's what can feel that discouragement of like, oh, I need to get there. I need to get to that, a million or what I need to get there. Like, okay, but realize it's right now, it's in the process. And so let's talk about what we can maybe do. And so what I've been able to do is like I've felt like that. Like I can feel like that often of like, all right, what the heck am I going to do now? Like I feel lost, right? And so having somebody there, having that guidance can 100% help that. In finding somebody who's already achieved what you're wanting to achieve and literally following their footsteps. And even if it's not a mentor, right? Even if it's just somebody you don't even know, maybe it's just simply YouTubing. Maybe it's simply Googling and just knowing that each little task, each little puzzle piece is put together to shape that puzzle. So, find those little things that you may have not done. It's right. Like if you do what you always have done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. If you do what you have never done, you're going to get what you've never gotten. And so maybe it's experimenting, doing different things. And that's what I would say is experimenting on different things that could take you one step closer is what I would say.
That's beautiful, man. I love it. When did you decide, hey, I've been successful in my own business, helping people with their nutrition and get Fusion Lean? When did you decide, hey, I want to teach this to other fitness professionals to help them grow their business?
Yeah, I've been in the realm for so long now of the keto area, and it's gotten to a point which I'm very very happy it's gotten to this point, but it's becoming very very saturated, which is amazing. It's actually good. That means people are doing well. And I thought, you know what? Okay, everyone's now coming over here, so let me kind of go out, but I'm still here. So I'm going to go out and I can help them. I can take them up to where I was.
Right.
And so I'm going to bring them with me. And so that's kind of like really just kind of like, okay, I've done it. Now I'm going to show them how they can do it.
Yeah.
And so that's really what's inspired me because I see a lot of, there's even coaches out there who like, hey, I'll help you achieve blank. But it's like, have you done it yourself? And in reality, a lot of them won't express they haven't even done it themselves. And so because I've actually done that, it's given me the confidence that I can help them do the same.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I love it. I love it, man. I think that's such a powerful foundation to come from, is the integrity of, hey, I've already done it myself. Now I want to help you do the same thing that I did. I know that there are a lot of, even there's a lot of fitness businesses out there who need your help, and then there's also fitness business coaches who help fitness
mhm.
businesses to grow. What would you say it is that sets you apart from those other people?
Yeah, I would say 100% branding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like I cannot express branding enough, and the reason I'm saying that is because there's a lot of people that okay, so there's a topic I love discussing. It's called a generalist versus a specialist,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can go find anyone on social media and saying, "Hey, I'm a certified trainer, help people get in shape." And it's like, okay, well, you sound like you're giving tips on every facet of life here, which is not bad, but I need somebody who's a specialist in helping me lose body fat, or
Mm-hmm.
I need a specialist who is the king of helping me build muscle.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a generalist versus specialist in non-branding versus branding, because branding is establishing that message, and that's what I was able to establish. Is that's why I made it fusion lean, right?
Mm,
I'm not going to help you become incredibly swole. I'm not going to help you, I don't know, lose, or excuse me, I'm not going to help you become skinny, but
mm,
I'll help you become lean.
yeah.
And if you want to know somebody who can help you do that, that's me,
Mm.
right? And so that's the difference right there, is branding and becoming a specialist rather than a generalist.
I love it. And I know that a specialist gets paid more than a generalist, right? When you have that
Yeah,
niche, like a brain surgeon, right, versus a general wellness practitioner, a doctor who like your insurance pays for, whatever it might be, like local that thing. No, when you have the specialist, the brain surgeon, you can make like so much more money. So I think
yeah.
that's really brilliant, dude.
I mean, it's almost the question too is like, would you rather, if you had to have brain surgery, would you rather have a brain surgeon or just a surgeon? I'd rather have the brain surgeon. That's just me.
Right?
But
It's like, I'm gonna operate on your brain. I've never done it before, but we're gonna do our
we'll,
best.
we'll try.
Man, so I love it. I love getting the specialist, because I think a lot of people are searching for answers or seeking solutions in today's day and age of the internet. There's a lot of people offering guidance and suggestions, and it's coming from a good place. A lot of it is good intentioned, but the actual execution on that and delivery of that, I think if people just do a little bit more digging and willingness to like do their research, find out about testimonials, case studies, things like that, and really dig in, then they can
Yeah.
find out like who is the real deal. And I think that would prevent a lot of difficult situations and uncomfortable situations, unhappy situations that customers and clients might find themselves in.
Yeah. 100%. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm curious for you, what did you do, or how did you show up, or what processes did you implement that helped you deliver a great experience for your clients?
Yeah, so for basically what I did is what differentiated my brand from the others is that I studied the competition, right? Like I didn't go and try and like get upset about the competition. I studied them. I learned from them,
Yeah.
and so I was like, okay, I bought somebody's program, and in reality, it was literally just a bland old PDF file that I could have made myself, and I'm like, you know what? This is not worth my time, and honestly, I feel like I'm trying to coach myself rather than him coaching me.
Mm,
So what I was able to do is I was able to re-sculpt that in a whole different way that made it super easy for me, because I always viewed it like this, right? Like I'm not saying everyone's dumb, but you have to view your clients super super dumb, right?
mm,
Like they need every single thing that's needed to make something work.
well,
They need that guidance, and I was like, okay, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. His program is having me figure this out and this out and this out.
yeah.
So I'm going to take this and I'm going to provide those solutions within my program. And I was able to make my courses and my program through Kajabi. And
Mm,
none of these competitions, none of them have ever used Kajabi, have ever know what that is. And Kajabi, for those that are curious, is the course development.
mm,
So I was able to take a program, have it customized, add on course to where I'm literally living with these people like physically, right, just over the course. And so that was
yeah.
able to increase the value and lower my time, right, making
Well,
more money, spending less time. So yeah, I mean, it's really just kind of figuring out what the competition is doing and make it better.
dude, I love it. I love it. So, what prompted you to say, "Hey, I got to write a book about this cancer experience too," and how does that like fit into your overall philosophy and desire to leave a legacy, man?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually have always had somewhat of a dream to kind of do this, and this was even like even before, but like I never thought it could be even realistic. But I was like, it would be cool, but I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
And I actually was one day I was meeting with my nutritionist down here in Austin,
Hmm.
and this guy he is a legend. He is just really just amazing at what he does.
Hmm.
And we were sitting there. He was just like, "All right, how you feeling?" I'm like, "I feel great." He's like, "All right, what are the results?" I'm like, "No tumor." And he's like, "Wow, this is honestly very shocking." And so I was like, "Oh man," I was like, "Hey, I'm glad to hear that." He's like, "You know what you should do?" He's like, "You should write a book one day." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, you really should because I don't see how this wouldn't work." And I was like, "Okay." And so suddenly I actually was sitting in my apartment. And I'll never forget the day that I did this. I'll never forget. I had just a bland old handwritten journal, and I opened the first thing. I opened it up, and I wrote page one.
Mm.
And I literally, and this is the weirdest thing as well. Like, I'm not this like creative, like I'm not this guy who made like the best SAT scores or any of that sort of stuff. Okay, but what I did is I literally thought of the name as soon as I opened that book. I thought of it within seconds, and
Mm.
as soon as I did that, I'm like, okay, I'm like, this is it. And then I took a Snapchat of it and I put it on there, and I said, I don't know how long this is going to take me. This may take 1 year, it may take 5 years, it may take 10 years,
Mm.
but it's going to happen. And so what I did was I actually hand wrote the whole thing. And so I hand wrote the whole thing, and I just simply did 1 page a day for however long it took. And it took me about a year and a half. I took some time off and, just kind of experienced more. But I just did 1 page a day, and that was it. No more, no less. 1 page, and, suddenly it just snowballed from there. So, yeah.
Dude, so it was just like you got inspired to write down your thoughts, and it just kept happening. You just like, all right, I'm gonna write more down, I'm gonna write more down, I'm gonna write more down. And it's like you just kept showing up and you didn't quit. And I think that's that's
Yeah.
that's so freaking important, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a journey. It's another one of those things. It's like, man, it's like I can't wait till the book is finally launched. But in reality, like if you're not willing to endure that whole process, there, it's never going to be launched. And so
Yeah.
that's why I kind of just told myself 1 page a day. Do
Mm,
not go for two. Don't write two, and don't write half a page. You just do 1 page a day. And if
wow.
you can achieve that every single day through this whole process, you're going to achieve those goals. And that's literally exactly what I set myself towards. And that's how I was able to do that.
Dude, I love it. I want to ask, why did you say don't do 2 pages a day?
Yeah, well, okay, I'll be honest. I did write 2 pages at some days,
Yeah.
but I never wanted to overthink because I think as an
Expectation. It
entrepreneur.
wasn't like an attachment. I
Exactly.
have to do two today. No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like, as entrepreneurs, like, I think, for myself, I can always think of, like, I did this, but I gotta do more, do more, do more,
Raise
do
the
more.
bar.
And exactly, and,
Yeah.
like, we always do have to raise the bar, but realize, like, again, you need to be going 100%
Yeah.
at what's in front of you rather than going, 100% and then now you're at 50% efforts and then
Mm,
60%. You know what I'm saying? It
yeah.
always has to be top notch all the way through the process.
Yeah, well, I think that's brilliant, man. And I want to speak to the goal setting process because I think a lot of people struggle with setting effective goals. And I know you're working with business owners and entrepreneurs as well. So I'm curious when it comes to setting a goal that like stretches people, but it's not too high, but it's not too low. How do you go about that process so that they can like really find the sweet spot and get things done without
Mm.
burning themselves out?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I've set goals extremely high, and did I achieve them? No, I didn't. But here's the thing: it's not that I really didn't even achieve the goal. I achieved more than what I thought I could, and the reason is
Mm,
because I've set the goal high. And like you said, I didn't do it out the roof to where the
right.
world, I mean, it's like I didn't say I'm going to make $1 billion, And so I set realistic but high goals. And so let me give you
Mm,
an example, right? Like I call for my clients, I call it the 10K crew
mhm.
where the goal is to help them make 10,000 a month in revenue.
Yes.
And so a lot of people say, I say, what's a realistic number for that you kind of think? Well, I think I could probably do 5 to 7,000 a month. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, great. Well, I believe we can hit 10,000. And hey, look,
Mm,
if we don't hit 10,000, maybe you hit 8,000. That's
yeah.
exceeding the goal that you had already set in your mind. And
Yeah.
so, going off of that, I view these things as tunnel vision and
Mhm.
tunnel goals.
Mm,
And that's why I call it the 10K crew, not just being successful. And I call it 10K crew because I want us repeating that in our mind every single day is like, we're going to hit 10,000. We're going to hit 10,000. Again, if it takes a month, great. 2 months, great. whatever it is, we're going to hit that one goal.
Mm.
It's, you know, he who chases two rabbits never catches one.
Yep.
So we're going to hit that, we're going to get that one rabbit, and then we're going to the next one. So yeah, that's, you know, how I'd answer that.
I love it. I love it, man. I'll also, like, with your journey, man, I think it's so important to let people know, like, what were some struggles and challenges and things that came up in your mind, because a lot of the stuff that you're sharing is, it seems like you overcame things pretty quickly, pretty easily. Like, what were some of the biggest challenges for you through cancer, through building your businesses? Like, what were some of those big adversities or obstacles that you had to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, you know, this part is also in my book, and I think it's not that I was, you know, I overcame these things easily. I simply made a decision,
Mm.
right? And I never wanted to be defeated by these obstacles. I never wanted to be second guessing myself, and I actually have always second guessed myself. I'm like, well, gosh, you know, what the heck am I even doing? You know, I mean, come on, dude. You know, and I'm like, oh, Logan, just stop. So it's almost like two voices, right? It's
Yeah.
like, which voice in your mind and your heart do you want to win?
Hmm.
And I always wanted the right mind to win. So that's what I did. And so, I mean, an obstacle that I kind of went through is I went through some extreme business controversy. I had a mentor in my life who was a mentor of mine all the way through high school and even through college. And he came on and was like, you know, I want to be part of your business. And
Wow.
for me, I mean, him wanting that, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, please be part of my business. You're my
Wow.
mentor. You're successful like as always. And he brought absolutely nothing to the table. I mean, we chatted maybe once a month and invested $0, and I gave him half my business. And I had to get rid of him. I had to buy him out because then nothing was there. And so
Yeah.
I ran into the obstacle of like, okay, like here's what just happened, but in reality, like I can look at how horrific that was, or I can say, okay, I learned a lesson from that horrific stupid decision,
Mm.
and here's how I can be better from that. And so that's really what I had to teach myself is like, you know, hey, the obstacles are there, but again, the obstacle is the way. As you know, I
Mm.
don't know who's read that book, but the obstacle is the way. And because you're recognizing and accepting the obstacle, you're taking that one step closer to achieving those goals. So
Wow.
yeah.
Dude, I love it, man. What would you say are the top priorities this year for growing your business, for impacting more people?
Yeah. Oh man. What I would say, my top goals, and again, this is for people who have their own business.
Hmm.
Honestly, like, yeah, I'm looking at numbers,
Mm.
but instead of looking at numbers this year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the success rate, right?
Mm.
I'm going to say, like, forget, you know, 100,000 or 500, whatever that is,
Yep.
forget the number and say, I'm going to have 100 successful clients
Mm.
hitting 10,000, or I'm going to have 200 successful clients. If you
Yeah.
have that, that is going to really grow your business. And that's
Boom.
what I'm kind of focusing on is like, you know, don't look at the accumulation of the success, look at the accumulation of the success of your clients. Not only because I want them to be successful, but that's going to help me become more successful. So
Mm.
overall, I really endure this as a process of going through it with my clients,
Hmm.
changing more lives, obviously, and becoming happy and healthy and wealthy.
Yeah.
And it just kind of is the energy altogether because if you're always fetching for the revenue goals,
Yeah.
but you're not fetching for the success of your clients, it's never going to grow. It'll kind of be stagnant. And if you want the business to really grow, then you have to focus on the success of the people that are there right there in front of you. So
Yeah.
that's really my goal and my vision for.
I love it, man. I think it's also hollow, you know, if you make the top priority the money. The money's great. We love money. We love getting paid lots of money. Yes, yes, yes. And if that is the main driver, if that's like the only thing on the radar, then we're missing the picture, because like we're in business to
Yeah.
really serve people, to make sure that they get those results. And I think a lot of people and personal trainers, correct me if I'm wrong, struggle with like focusing on just making the most amount of money. But when we start in the beginning, like go produce those results for people, go focus on that from the beginning so that we can really showcase those testimonials. We have these people who are so
Hmm.
just stoked out of their mind that they worked with us, and they're like, yes, use me as your banner, use me as your case study, use me because I am so
Yeah.
freaking happy with the results that I got in my life. I would do it a million times over again because of what I have achieved because of working with you. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we want. We want freaking raving fans like that, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like again, question is: would you rather have one person paying you $1,000, or would you rather have 100 people paying you $10? Somebody paying
Mm,
1,000 is going to be fully invested
yeah.
in their investment to
Mm,
see results. Somebody
wow.
who's paying $10, is going to look at a file one time and never look at it again. And so
Man.
they're never going to come back for anything else that you have to offer. And so, yeah, 100% with you, man.
Dude, and I think that's important too, for people to not treat themselves as a commodity, to not treat themselves as just like, oh, I'm just another service. Like, no, how do you position yourself with branding, with pricing, with everything lined up in the business to show that,
Hmm.
hey, I'm not just another coach, I'm not just another fitness professional, I'm someone who's going to like really stand out and transform your life unlike anyone else who you've ever worked with before.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
In terms of a fitness entrepreneur, fitness coach, standing out in their business, is there anything else that you'd recommend around branding, around growing their business, around really making that big impact?
Yeah, what I would say is, again, for online, you have to view it this way too. A lot of people, they're posting content
Hmm.
that is not differentiating them. Okay. And so
Hmm.
what I mean by that is you can go onto Instagram and you can find hundreds, if not thousands, of people posting workout videos
Hmm.
saying, hey, buy my program, buy my coaching. And you can go find people posting the same exact thing. And it may help grow their page, but you have to view this too. What is the problem? The problem is people's diet. It's not that
Yeah.
they can't work out, it's
Yeah.
their diet, right?
Yeah.
So 80% of physical results comes from the diet.
Yeah.
So 80% of your content should be of the diet.
Mm,
So you have
that's
to
good.
give that solution to the people. And if they see the solution that you're providing that no one else is,
Mm,
they're going to be interested in what you have versus what somebody else has, regardless of the amount of followers or the amount of ranking you have. It
mm,
just comes down to the solution you're showing.
yeah.
And if you nail down that solution, and what I call it is, if you, again, I think I said it, but if you create your secret sauce is what I call it.
That's awesome.
Are you going to help me get super lean, or are you just a tip giver? If you're going to help me get super lean, then yes, I want to work with you. But if you're going to just give me tips, I don't. And so
Mm,
that's what I would really say is differentiate your brand by finding that secret sauce
mm.
and focusing on 80% of diet. Like that's the biggest problem, and you have the biggest solution.
Yeah, dude, you're crushing it with your Instagram. In addition to like having that branding on point and delivering like what's going to make the biggest difference for people, like what would you say helps you succeed with Instagram? What would you say helps differentiate you and have you stand out so that people want to keep seeing your content and engaging with it?
Yeah, whenever I make a post, right, I ask myself, I say, is somebody going to share this post with
Mm,
somebody else? Are
mm,
they going to share it with a loved one? And are they going to save it? Do they want to see this post again, or do they never want to see it again?
wow.
And that's a simple question I ask. And if the answer is yes to both of those, yes, they'll share it, and yes, they'll save it, I say, okay, I'm going to post that. And
Mm,
also, I ask myself, how can this relate to them in the sense of how will this make them feel? Will
yeah.
this make them feel just, you know, neutral, like as in like it really had no impact? Or is it going to say, okay, whoa, this actually took me down pretty deep because I know what that kind of is like.
Mm,
Wow, whew, kind of making them huff and puff for a second. If I know they're going to feel that, then I'm going to post it. So
wow.
you have to trigger their emotions, and everything that you are posting is triggering their emotions 100%.
Damn. Dude, I love it. And I hear Tony Robbins uses like swear words to get people's
Yeah.
emotion, right? To trigger people, to get them present, because a lot of people are offended by swear words. I know on your cover of your book, you have the F word scratched out,
Yeah.
right? It says
Yeah.
thank you. Tell us about that
Yeah.
strategy, man, because I think it's brilliant. And by the way, you can swear on your
Yeah.
book.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, I'm actually like the last person. Like people, the thing is like people are like, "Oh my gosh, like Logan, I didn't even know you would have that on your book. Like I never saw that." I'm like, "Well, hey, that's right. You don't see it in me, but guess what? That's why I have
Mm,
thank over it." You know what
wow.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
hey, I just caught your eyes, and I've
Yeah.
even had like I'm gonna be straight up with you. I've had people say, "I'm not gonna buy your book because it says that," and I say, "Don't buy the book."
Yep.
Like I don't want you buying the book.
Yeah.
You're judging a book by its cover,
Yep.
and you'll never actually know why it's called that until you read it.
Wow.
And so, right then and there, what's going to happen is they're going to be thinking about the book over and over and over and over and over again, and then eventually they'll probably buy it, right? And so it triggered their
I
emotions, whether
love
it's
it.
somebody who hates the name or loves it. And so again, it says, "Fuck you, cancer," but then it says, "Thank you, cancer." And
Yeah.
so I really just I just knew that it triggered my emotions of me even thinking
Mm,
that idea, and I
mm,
was like, "Whoa, okay, if that's gonna hit me," I'm like, no way it can't. And I got the idea because everyone, there's the American saying is, fuck you, cancer.
Yeah.
It's very just kind of like and I totally agree. But then again, it's like, instead of us being attacked by it, let's go attack
Mm,
it and
mm,
face it. And so I just
mm.
knew that I'm going into, it's like the fish are going in one direction, but
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to be
That's
that
right.
one fish that goes the opposite direction. And
Boom.
so hopefully the people can come with me. And
Yeah.
so,
Plus
yeah.
the energy of like how we relate to things. If we say fuck you cancer, and cancer is this big weight, this big depressing, disempowering, overbearing, heavy ass weight in our lives, then we will be
Hmm.
defeated by cancer because it is like a burden. It is a immovable mountain, because a lot of people relate to it like that. They're like resentful. They're like, screw you, I hate you, you took away my loved ones, you did da 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 da, you did this to my life.
Yeah.
Versus the energy of thank you is welcoming, it's non-resistance, it's love, it's peace. It's like aikido, which is like going with the flow of the thing. And I think that that's so
Yeah.
important to welcome it and say thank you. What can I learn? How can I be better
Hmm.
because of this? How can I improve? How can I make sure that this never happens again, that it doesn't happen again to me, that it doesn't happen again to others, that it helps me empower myself and empower others? And I think so many people are victims rather than being in the victory seat and taking charge and being the
Yeah.
CEO of your life.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because think about this, right? Cancer is horrible. I wish
Yeah.
I never got it, but guess what? I don't think I'd be talking with you right now
Mm,
if I didn't have it. And
wow.
I don't think anybody on here listening to it, if obviously I'm very hopeful and believe that this will really impact people of us being on here together.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have this cancer, I don't know if I would be able to leave an impact to this audience. So anyone listening to this that's getting an impact, I don't know if I would ever if you would ever hear this at
Mm.
all. So that's how I view it all as a gift. It's like I'm just put on a different route with different gifts with it.
Boom, dude, I love it. I really I hear that too. It's not making it like right that it happened, right? If there's tragedy, if
Yeah.
there's trauma, if there's things like that, it's not making it good that it happened. It still sucks, but how are we going to respond to it? How are we going to show up in spite of that, in adversity, in that face of adversity? How do we overcome that? How do we heal from it and keep moving forward and not let anything, any circumstance that happens to us define us, man? And so I want to dive into the book just a little bit more and tell our audience what they
Yeah.
can get when they get the book. What else will happen? Who's it for? And let's dive into the book just a little bit more, man.
Yeah, so the book in general, right? There's more than I've been through a lot more than just cancer. Okay,
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been through, near depression. I've been through a lonely life. I've been through a lot of social media hate.
yeah.
I've been through a lot of self doubt. I've been through a lot of low self worth. I've been through a lot of defeat.
Mm,
Right, and so taking all these things together, it's like I've visualized these as all the most horrific things, and I've been able to reshape and grow from each one of them. And now I'm very, just grateful that I've experienced that. And so for people who are experiencing any of those things, loneliness, depression, anxiety, low self-worth, they feel lost in their life, they're going through any disease, their mentality is low. If you're going through any obstacle in your life and you want to push and want to know how you can overcome these, and you want to know that it's possible, then this is obviously, a book for you. Because again, I basically at the very end of the book, in the very beginning, is creating the best version of yourself. It
mm,
takes more than your diet. It takes your mindset. It takes your belief. It takes your habits. It takes your environment, and it takes your overall, what you're doing on a daily basis. And so, yeah, I mean that's really how I put it together. It's almost like I've taken a lot of puzzle pieces that are just laying out in front of me. That it's a million puzzle pieces. I don't know what to do, and
mm.
I've been able to put the puzzle together.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of view this book. So
Yeah, dude, I think that's so powerful. And what role do you feel mentorship played in giving you a voice, giving you like the desire to get on to podcast or write a book to serve people through a message? How did mentoring really make that impact in your life?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never legitimately had a mentor. Well, I mean, I kind of do now, but I've never had a mentor in this specific area of becoming an influencer.
Yeah,
Because my other mentor that I had, he was just a financial sort of guy. Like,
right.
he knows how to deal with his money, but he never really never knew anything about social media and becoming an online influencer.
Right.
So I really had to figure it all out on my own. And I view my influencers as my competition, right?
Mm,
Like if I
that's
want to
good.
do that, like I can 100% learn from them.
Yeah.
And so that's literally what I did. And obviously, my dad has been my just overall mentor in every facet of life. Who's kind of been there, obviously been there supporting me through this all. And has never put any doubt on this, has never
Yeah.
done any of that stuff. It's always learning in different ways. But yeah, I mean, like I said, my best mentors has been my competition, and I just learn in every way that I can and just experiment. Just get out and experiment. You just kind of have to say, this is me. I'm not going to be who somebody wants me to be. I'm going to be me, right? And a lot of
Mm,
people are worried about like making a video, or they're worried about posting a picture, like, with their niche. Like, it's like,
yeah.
well, my audience won't be interested. Like, it's you.
Mm.
People will come, some may not come, and you have to understand that life is never going to be perfect the way you want it. So
How do you train your entrepreneurs who you work with who are building fitness professional businesses? How do you train them to not be attached and to still like give everything they've got and to serve with like their full heart and full 100% while not being attached to needing a client or a customer or something like that?
yeah, yeah. Again, that's where we start by planting the tree,
Mm,
right? Again, a lot of people fear those things because they see good looking bushes. They don't want to get rid of the bushes, but they just want to kind of lightly water them. But
mm,
they know in their mind, like, okay, okay, just let's be straight here. We have to go plant a new Amazon tree here. That's going to be the biggest and baddest. And if we plant that tree and we're watering that, it's going to grow and it's going to grow.
yeah.
And so, over time, I want them feeling confident about their message, because a lot of people don't feel confident, not because they're scared of what people are going to think. It's just because they don't even really know what they're talking about,
Mhm.
or they feel lost, right? And so I want them feeling structured. I want them feeling confident, and I want them feeling aligned on what they're delivering. And when they can feel that, and they know something has worked for them, I help them basically. A lot of people have their own story, and I help people take their story, reshape it to where it's now a message and something that they've experienced, they've grown from. And so now that they have that confidence, they can go express it to the world and know that they're providing a solution. They're not providing just, the hopes of somebody buys their program. They're providing
Right.
a solution.
Mm,
So I want to change their mind from providing, making money process
mm,
to a solution that can get you to the 10,000.
mm.
So
And in terms of creating that solution, what do we need to know to like architect to build a solution?
yeah. So, what are some of the biggest problems out there, right? So some people may say, well, I want to get in shape, but geez, man, I got work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I have 3 kids, so I mean, I just don't know how I'm going to eat all this sort of stuff. And say, okay, so it looks like your problem is that you don't really know what to eat. You're worried about eating too much, and you just don't have the time. So
Hmm.
time looks like it's a problem. The guidance looks like it's a problem. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to provide you intermittent fasting program where you're just going to eat 2 meals a day. You're going to feel amazing. So you'll have one lunch, and you can go out to eat wherever you want for this one lunch. And then when you get home for dinner, it's going to be a simple steak, eggs, and avocado. That's it. And for your workouts, all I ask is that you get up every 50 minutes of the day and just walk for 5 minutes. That's
Mm,
it. You don't need to go to the gym. Don't even buy a gym membership. Just do that. And you're going to have time and you're going to see results. And so if you're presenting that solution in that way, that truly is impactful, and they'll be interested. And that's why I want people taking, how did you see results, right? Like I ask my
mm,
clients, like, how did you see your own results?
yeah.
Right. And so they answer that and they say, well, I did a lot of calisthenics, and I didn't really go to the gym, and I just did, intermittent fasting. All right, there you go. You just said it right there. You solved your problem. Now let's go help other people solve theirs. So.
Boom. Dude, Logan, you're on fire, man. Tip after tip, solution after solution. This is gold, man. It's really cool. I know that we're just scratching the surface, brother. So I want to tell our audience how they can stay connected with you. How can they take those next steps with you? What does that look like? Let's give them the 411, bro.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. To keep it straight up, to keep it very simple, Instagram, if you look up Logan Sneed, I'm there. I'm there 100%. I basically live there. My website is logansneed.com.
Yep.
And it'll have links to, Fitpreneur Academy and Fusion Lean, my book, all that stuff there. But yeah, basically look up my name on all platforms and I'm there.
Dude, so simple, and I love it. Do you have any like specific programs or one-on-one coaching that people can look forward to? How can they take those next steps with that, man?
Yeah, absolutely. So fitpreneuracademy.com is my business. And if you want to go on there, you can schedule a call with me on where we can go through a strategy session, basically like we're doing here,
Yep.
on helping you build, taking your story and building a real brand
Mhm.
that is changing lives and making money. So that's what I do, is helping them build their own online health and fitness business, changing lives and making money.
Dude, you're crushing it, Logan. You're a massive inspiration, man. I'm just honored to be a part of your journey, getting this message out and serving more people, especially fitness entrepreneurs who are building their business. Because I know it can be difficult to stand out from the competition, but like working with someone like you who's overcome serious difficulties and empower them to become that CEO of their life, I think is so valuable, man. So I appreciate you sharing with our
Yeah.
audience and just the work that you're doing, man. Massive
Man,
appreciation for
yeah,
it.
thank you so much. Again, I love the podcast, man. It's been amazing and such a big opportunity, and I can't thank you enough. And I know people on here just love hanging out with you and going through this process. It's awesome, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm looking forward to doing even
Yeah,
more with you this year. Let's rock it, man. And we'll see you soon. Okay, Logan?
cool. Thank
All right.
you.
Take care, bro.
Cool.